Hi, I'm Antonia. This is Universally Me. Last weekend was the Cinecon Classic Film Festival here in Los Angeles, and I got to see the movie King of Jazz. It was very special to me for two reasons. First is because it was just recently restored, and it screened in May at the Museum of Modern Art in New York, and I think this is the only other screening that's really happened other than that. So that was really special, just to be one of the first audiences to see it in years and years and years. And also, I think it was a really expensive restoration. Nobody will really give a number, but I think it's one of the more expensive film restorations to date. The other reason it was really special to see or exciting to see is that my Aunt Carla dances in it. I know I definitely saw her in two numbers. My mom is pretty sure she saw her like in the back of a few others, so we're gonna have to watch again sometime to see just how many times she pops up. But she was beautiful and wonderful, and it was really cool. The movie was released in 1930 and directed by John Murray Anderson, and it had some big stars in it, including Laura LaPlante, Bing Crosby, John Bowles. It was very advanced technologically for the time. Talkies were still new, color was still new. It has the first animated Technicolor sequence of any movie, which was done by Walter Lantz, who did Woody Woodpecker. It used a lot of cool camera tricks that were very new, things to make people look really small or to make it look like there are ghosts in the room. And it's also one of the earliest instances of using a pre-recorded soundtrack, which now in musical movies we expect, but at the time was basically unheard of. Jazz itself was still a very new genre. It had maybe been around a decade or two, and jazz done by white people, that was very new. But I'm not gonna lie, there was definitely some racism. It was definitely a little bit problematic at times, maybe uncomfortable to watch. You know, you sort of had to remind yourself, now we're in 2016, then was 1930, and it was a different world. You had to try to add that context to it. At times they did recognize the origins of jazz, but then like at the end they have this whole melting pot number, which is to honor those origins, and they literally only honor white European countries through that. So that was a little bit off, maybe. Beyond that, though, the movie was really great. It was really fun. If you would have asked me what I thought The King of Jazz was about before, I would have been like, probably a love story, a guy who sings jazz, who falls in love with a woman, or, you know, something like that. But it wasn't that at all. The King of Jazz actually refers to Paul Whiteman, who was a big band leader at the time. And the whole thing is sort of a variety show, or a review, I guess you'd call it, highlighting his band, their music. There were, you know, these great, beautiful dance numbers, and also skits and cheesy jokes, and a lot of, you know, really fun little things in between. The King of Jazz was a really great movie, but it was released at a terrible time. The stock market had just crashed. The year had a ton of other musicals, and people were sort of like, well, I'm not spending my money, and I'm certainly not spending it on a movie I think I've already seen. So the budget for the film was like $2 million, which was huge in those days. But the movie only ended up making back less than $1 million. And the movie is known for one of its numbers called Rhapsody in Blue, but supposedly people in Hollywood were calling the movie Universal's Rhapsody in the Red. But in slightly better news, it did win an Oscar that year for Best Art Direction. If the movie comes to a city near you, I definitely recommend making the trip to see it. It had beautiful dance numbers, a lot of laughs, a lot of fun. It was just, I mean, it was a good time. So make the trip, go see it, and if you do, let me know. And thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe and share and follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Antonia Carlotta. Thanks and bye.